this was definitely one of those chapters.
Just got real.
And you know, like one of those chapters that after you're done reading it, while you're reading, you're just kind of in a daze. Like literally, as I was translating it, it's crazy. I'm not even exaggerating here. I was kind of getting a little bit like dizzy almost, like just kind of floored. Like my jaw was on the table and just like. Anyways, welcome back to the Manga Lounge, Jujutsu Kaisen edition, Shibuya Incident Part 30. Hope you got some something to drink ready. Let's just dive right in. We got a lot to cover. Let's do this. All right, so immediately we get this crazy little cover page here, and it's funny because when I was translating this, I kind of missed it the first time and took a second glance, and I was like, oh, you can see the fingers. I like how they kind of do this outline of the fingers on the way that Akutami Sensei kind of represented that, and you know, the big question, obviously, last chapter we left off with, you know, we have the 10 fingers, and then is he actually going to succeed in having Yuji eat it, consume it? Because, you know, there's always the possibility, well, maybe someone will swoop in, maybe the girls will swoop in, maybe you know, Mahito, another curse will find it, you know, just the way that Jogo got attracted to the finger, maybe Mahito would have found his way there as well, but nope. We on page 2 immediately we get the little thing with all the fingers. They're all gone. So 10 plus 5 had, if in case you're kind of forget what finger we're on here, the 5 previous ones are these ones right here, plus 10, that's 15. Remember, 15 out of 20, so that's 75%. And we page 3, we see that Nanako and Mimiko are indeed alive, but they're certainly not unscathed. Nanako's power, you know, she used her smartphone, a very kind of a new age jujutsu technique, curse technique, which I thought was pretty cool. But then we immediately just see Jogo's arm gone, and then next page. The king of curses himself. Yeah. And it just gets super real here. All of a sudden, it's just the way, you know, you immediately get this page, but then the pages that follow too, the way that the twins are reacting and the way that Jogo's reacting, it's just the tension just keeps on escalating every single chapter. Yep, and it's crazy. The way that Akutami Sensei has kind of represented this fear. I mean, it's a manga, but even the reader starts to feel this sort of tension, this kind of fear, just by the way that they describe what Jogo and the twins are feeling. You know, I mean, they're so scared that they even question breathing. I mean, that's a whole new level of fear, you know, and not like. Is it okay to breathe because like they'll hear us? It's like literally like, am I allowed to breathe? Like, do I have the permission to breathe? Is that okay? Oh, nuts. And then, you know, Sukuna, you know, obviously immediately not wasting any time, saying, hey, you guys are awfully casual right now. And then boom, you see Nanako and Mimiko, well, Nanako at least smart enough to get them both on the ground there. Jogo thinks that taking a knee is enough. Nope. But then, you know, Sukuna starts talking to the twins. And then I had a really bad feeling about this. Immediately, as soon as Nanako, obviously they revived Sukuna for a purpose, right? To help Master Geto. But you don't I mean, they learned the lesson very, very quickly. You do not order Sukuna. You do not make any requests of Sukuna. Yeah, so as soon as this started happening, you could feel like, oh my god, this is no bueno. But then we get this kind of cool little flashback here of Geto, talking about Gojo and kind of how, it's kind of a little sentimental moment right here, which is kind of, I love these kind of little moments in this kind of really tense situation, these moments to just kind of draw us out a little bit. But we also get a little reveal here on page 12. Small detail, but it certainly it's worth noting that Nanako is saying that she knows where another finger is, and of course that also begs the question: well, is it another finger in Shibuya, or is it just like another, like a secret location elsewhere? So that's not really explained here, but. So at least 16 out of 20 are accounted for, if we're to believe what she's saying. And it could very well be that she's, that's not true. She thought, I think she is telling the truth, but it could be that she's just trying to get some leverage, and it's worth throwing away her own life as long as Master Geto gets saved, so we'll see. Yeah, but then page 13, like, even for Jujutsu Kaisen, this was pretty visceral. I mean, like, Jujutsu Kaisen gets pretty brutal, but like, this was just like, whoa, what is going on? Yeah, and then as Sukuna, as he elaborates, you thought you could give me orders? You must be stupid. And then Nanako, she's not, she doesn't have her head on straight. Gets out her phone and before we got to even know you, goodbye. She's done. And it's crazy. It's kind of, we've seen Sukuna do this before. Kind of with like just his like slicing, like he seems to be able to manipulate cursed energy in a way where he's just like slicing things. We saw it against the curse in like chapter 7 or 8, I think it was. But yeah, it's kind of begs the question how I think he just has like this super mastery over cursed energy that he is able to just use it as this kind of blunt force as well. I'm curious whether it has something to do with his kind of like a curse technique, but I think it's a little bit more straightforward than that. Like he's just able to, but who knows? Anyways, he's like, this is funny. Like Akutami Sensei was definitely kind of tongue-in-cheek here on page 15, saying like, maybe something to curse technique, something to do with the phone, because like as readers we were wondering, oh, what is it that she's able to do with her phone? And then he's just like, doesn't matter, we're done. We're done here, my turn now. So I kind of like that. It's just these moments of brutal reality after brutal reality. I like this chapter. For me, if I were to sum it up in just a couple words, it would be reality check. I mean, just this reality check that, like the way that Toji put the reality check on Dagon, and then we had Jogo put the reality check on Nanami and crew, and then now Sukuna is putting the reality check on everyone. It's kind of, again, it's a weird thing with Jujutsu Kaisen. Even with like Jogo in the last chapter, we kind of start to lose perspective as how strong some of these characters are. Jogo, namely, being, up against Gojo, the only time that we saw him really fight, or the couple times, I guess, both against Gojo, and, made it look like child's play. And even Sukuna, granted, at the time, he was only one finger, right? One finger Sukuna, I guess you can call him, fighting against Gojo. And although it's kind of unclear as how the power scaling really works, we kind of tend to assume that, you know, more fingers mean more powerful, right? But I don't know if that's how it really works or not. But I think it's a safe bet to think. I mean, we're at 15 fingers now, so I would think that it means that he's considerably stronger when compared to when he was fighting Gojo the first time. But remember, we kind of move on here, and Jogo's kind of objective is to just revive Sukuna, and he just wants that's it. You know, he just wants a world for cursed spirits. And then we move on to page 17 here, and there's a really kind of interesting detail here that even if Sukuna can use his reverse curse technique to heal others, apparently Mahito's idol transfiguration isn't something that can be, you know, fixed with reverse curse technique, which is it'll be kind of interesting to see how that kind of comes into play, because certainly Mahito is going to be someone to look out for in the future of the series, and that little bit of knowledge that like, let's say if, you know, during when Junpei got transfigured, if for some reason Shoko was there, for example, she perhaps wouldn't be able to fix Junpei in that situation. So and again, I think I always forget as well kind of just how important Shoko is in this whole story as well. But on page 18 here, you know, we have Jogo kind of explaining his plan to use everyone in the, you know, Yuji and the Jutsu High people as leverage. And Sukuna's just like, nope, I got my own plans. Shut up. Like, don't worry about that. But he also does admit that there are things that he won't be able to fulfill solely by himself. So he kind of strikes a deal here, as well, we're kind of led to believe. I mean, you know, it's again, Sukuna doesn't work for anyone, right? But he kind of says like, okay, why don't we a temporary truce almost, but of course he always has ulterior motives, right? Sukuna proclaiming that he doesn't mind killing everyone and every human in Shibuya, all except for one, and one being, we can assume, I mean it's a pretty good bet that it's Fushiguro Megumi, who is currently preoccupied with Toji. So, if this little game here, if Jogo manages to get a strike on Sukuna, maybe Sukuna would eventually find his way over to Megumi and them, even though, you know, he doesn't want to kill Megumi. Maybe he would eventually find his way there, and then all of a sudden it would be Toji and Megumi versus Sukuna, you know, because Toji's always going for the strongest around, and certainly Fushiguro would be recognizing that threat as well. So maybe it would be a father-son battle versus Sukuna. That'd be pretty badass, but I don't know, who knows. Only time will tell. Yeah, it's just like I said, it's just one of those chapters where you're just like even so many days after translating, I'm just kind of like, what just happened, you know, and just trying to process everything. And presumably it might be Jogo versus Sukuna kind of here a little bit. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a glimpse at Megumi and Toji. And remember, I keep on forgetting this as well, but we still haven't seen Kusakabe Sensei as well as Panda. Well, what are they up to? You know, we haven't seen them in like ever since the Shibuya incident started. That was a good, you know, like 25 chapters ago. It's been months. So I really want to see how they're going to fit into it, and maybe they're going to be playing more of a key role than initially kind of represented. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, hey, thanks very much for sticking around. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll see you in the next Manga Lounge. Just one of those chapters. Sorry, I can't stop giggling. It's so crazy, this series right now. But anyways, you know how we do. Mata yoroshiku. We'll see you next time.